these scrolls I've loved before. To all the scrolls who shared my life, to all the scrolls who cared for me, to all the scrolls I once caressed. So, this is all the critters in... It seems to be a combination of... well, it seems to be like Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor and Northrend. Same with this one, though this seems to be solely Northrend. I think this is a bit of Northrend with the Steam Frog and Borean Frog. The rest, I think, could be found anywhere else. Now this is Cataclysm stuff, and this is Pandaria. It's mentioned there, but in the thing itself. They didn't bring it into Warlords, it seems. And this is about sampling during our food. I think I have more progress on these on my main. I've certainly done it more. So, damn. I got a lot to go till I get got my mind on my money. Yeah, just head back to Tranquillian. Should have actually went to the bank. I could put the bags away. Don't really want to get rid of them, to be honest. And I could bank that. May as well hold on to it. Oops, excuse me. Damn creaky chair. Do like the staff of Gul'dan though. It's nice. Just one thing. Oh yeah, I did get to see the movie, the Warcraft movie. I liked it. It's a good movie in its own regard. Although I kind of see where the critics are going with it looking like a fan movie. Some things about it did seem off. Normally when I sit down and watch a movie, like I've sat down and watched, Batman vs Superman or the Avengers Civil War or whatever, I can sit down and see, that looks fine. But when I watched the Warcraft thing, it looked off. Odd. Like, just things were out of place almost. And, well, not out of place, but it just looked odd. It's not a criticism. Well, I suppose you could take it as one. It just looked strange, that's all. But it was still an enjoyable movie in its own right. Though certainly... it does differ from the lore. Some people are saying, oh, it sticks quite closely to the lore. Maybe it does. I'll be blunt. I don't know the lore inside and out. I know, though, that it does differ from the lore quite greatly. For example, Khadgar says that he left his apprenticeship with Medivh. He also renounced his vows and... I'm not sure which vows those were, and also left the Kintor. He ran away. The Khadgar in the books didn't. Well, he did and he didn't. He does run away from Medivh at one stage, but that's when Medivh is trying to kill him. So, what Medivh does be a ghost to him, he didn't really try and kill him. When let me phrase that better. When Medivh first sees Khadgar in the movie, he slams him against the wall. He's very grouchy, but he didn't try and kill him. When Khadgar in the books fled him, yeah, he was trying to kill him. Ended up knocking him off a griffin a few, however miles up in the air, if memory serves. I think its memory's a little off though, in that regard. Like I remember him being on a griffin, fleeing, and the little kerfuffle with the griffin due to its training to go to answer to Medivh's call. But anyway, there are some differences in the lore. There are some differences and changes that can't be argued, unless you think, Frank went to the shop, Frank went to the moon isn't a difference provided Frank dies in both cases. If that's the case, like, I'm of two minds of how to respond to that. One is like, damn, you're an idiot. The other is, okay, they're different. They're very, very different. Like, yeah. I know I keep going on about there's differences, and there's differences, like, say, between WoW and Warcraft 3. It's just because it's kind of because I got into Warcraft 3 via WoW. I don't mind the differences looking back on it. Certainly it irritates me a little, but when I see a movie based off of the Warcraft stuff, with, you know, WoW being such a heavy influence, and there being differences to WoW, and actually the rest of Warcraft, it does get a little bit more in on me, if you get me. But yeah, I get that I'm being a little, I'm not sure if hypocritical isn't the right word, but I'm maybe being a little unfair to the thing, considering that the games themselves, like, I'm saying, like, oh, it's not accurate to the games, when half the time the games aren't accurate to the games. But I'm just simply saying some people have argued that the movie is accurate to the games, when there's substantial differences. Like, I like the movie. It's a good movie in its own right, but acknowledge that it isn't perfectly accurate. Like, there are differences. They do exist. To argue otherwise is foolishness. Some people were, like, as I was saying in the last session, saying that it's unfair for the things to stay with a 20-year-old script. But I don't understand how. Maybe I'm just being an idiot, but I don't see how it's unfair. Certainly, like, oi, I'm trying to monologue here. Basically, like, I don't see how it's unfair. From what I know of the WoW lore, it could, you know, like, no, I'll phrase it this way. It's one thing if a thing wouldn't really transfer well from a book to a screen. Like, some things work better from, like, imagination, while other things work better via, you know, sight. Like, some things work better in a written medium than in a visual medium, and vice versa. I can understand that, but that's not the argument being made. The argument being made is due to age solely, that the thing shouldn't be how, like, the movie's so old that it shouldn't be, the movie's so new, and the game lore is so old that it shouldn't be held to the game lore, because the movie franchise is just a new thing. I'm not sure if I can understand the logic behind that, because, well, it was never really explained, it was just asserted. If, like I said in the last session, if you got a good reasoning for it, I would like to hear it, because I like to understand other people's points. But just from my perspective, without an explanation, meh, it's not really, I don't really agree with it. Also, this gunk is weird. Like, what the hell is it? Mold? Strange stuff. But anyway, there is some stuff over there, but I'm leaving it. Don't want to fight that many undead for a bit of Briarthorn. I hope I don't give people the idea that I hate this series, or hate the movie or something. I don't. I actually rather enjoy it. And I just realized I didn't buy my Hearthstone. I'll just go over here, grab the Merlocs spines, and then go home. But anyway, I do like the movie. It just, I've seen people try and say that it follows the lore faithfully when it doesn't. And I like accuracy. It follows the lore to certain degrees, but then it takes its liberties with other parts. And while I may enjoy the film in its own right, it's a good film. Like, in its, like, in it, on its own, it stands up well. It's just that when you compare it to the rest of the series, take it into account with the rest of the content, it is different. And it does irritate me a little, as while I wasn't exactly hyped for it, I've been kind of, when I was thinking, the movie's been in development for longer than I've been in secondary school. That's how long it's been. And I was in secondary school for 5 years. The movie's been in development for quite a while. And I've been a fan of WoW for quite a while. So when I hear that the WoW movie's being made, I'm expecting, due to my obsessiveness with accuracy to the lore, I'm expecting a thing to be accurate to the lore. And when there is it, part of me wants to be a bit mean. That's why I stopped for a moment there, because I'm not sure how to phrase this. Part of me wants to be a bit mean and say, so when I see a movie coming out wearing the flesh of Warcraft, wearing a skin suit of it, I'm a little disappointed. But that's a bit harsh. It does follow the lore, and it's not half bad movie in its own right, but it does take its own liberties with the lore, and that irritates me. Though I don't think it's as much as it irritates me when people who write the lore and know the lore claim it's the same thing, as far as I can tell at least. Again, maybe I misunderstood her and someone's pointed out to me by the time of this gets released. Keep in mind, this has been recorded a long time in advance, to use correct English. So, maybe my mistake has been pointed out, and I do sincerely apologize if I'm repeating false information. But as far as, to the best of my knowledge, that's, sincere thought, that somehow different things are the same thing. Obtuseness of that caliber irritates me. But, yeah. But to be honest, I think I'm just saying the same point over and over again. That I was expecting something to be slightly more accurate to the movie. I didn't get it, and I'm a little annoyed. So I'm a little annoyed at that, though I do recognise the movie is good in its own right. And I'm a little annoyed that people are defending it as, oh, it's really accurate to the movie, when it's kind of accurate, though it makes its own. It's like an alternate universe. WoW, it's like an alternate universe Warcraft. So it isn't perfectly accurate. It takes its own. It's like its own thing. That's actually a nice idea. It's actually an alternate universe. But so it's just that obtuseness and inaccuracy is also really annoying me. So yeah, that's basically my point. So yeah, complaining aside, like I said, I do enjoy the movie. It's great in its own right. It's a good movie, and I do look forward. Christ, there's a lot of them. Well, just a lot of red on the screen. And I actually look forward to seeing the next one. It's actually, it's got a potential to be a very good, movie franchise. I assume they're going to make it a franchise. I doubt they're just going to make a single movie. But it's a very good one, and I could, see myself watching more. So, there's that. I just get obsessive about inaccuracies. That's all. I'm really a fan of these guys being rangers, or throwing javelins right through my elf. Could you stop that? It's not very nice. Christ, heat-seeking javelins that can somehow damage me without actually making contact with my body. As you saw there, it actually went across and levitated in front of me. And great, we got a plagued Merloc spine in our inventory. For a moment there, I thought he had dropped dead instantly, but new. Also, one thing, just like a minor thing, when you just like the mapping of the movie's kind of weird. Basically, Stormwind's over here. As far as I know, this is where Stormwind Time of Warcraft 1 is. Stormwind does get rebuilt, and so I assume it stayed here the entire time. The Blasted Lands is over here with the portal here, like right here. Those things are there. I wonder, can you still access that NPC? According to this, you can, but I wonder. But anyway, and again, I'm going to go from some heavy spoilers here. At the end, Troll's mom flees. I can't remember her name, to get Troll to safety. She's followed. She leaves. So she leaves him in a basket. Well, let me rephrase that. She's fleeing. She finds a river. She had him in a baskety thing, so she puts him in it. He floats off the river, all Moses style. Then she turns around and finds an orc comes up to the bank. She attacks him, and she ends up dying. Though not before like seriously eating the crap out of his neck. Let me just loot this guy before he despawns. I'm just what part of me's thinking about the map of it, because she fled from the Blasted Lands, which looked nicer in the day, up away from the the dark portal, and then found a river which led Troll downstream to a nice area where presumably the human lord that had enslaved Troll will take him in and then turn him into a gladiator. So it's just like the mapping of it, because from what I know of this area, the only place where that will work will be like, you know, Duskwood or something. Howen Forest, but there no real river leads into there from any other location. So it's just the map of it when compared to the WoW map is a little funky, it seems, unless I'm missing something. Maybe she ran further than I thought, but considering the situation, I couldn't really see her running all the way up to, you know, the hinterlands or wherever she may be, you know, or wherever. So it just, I know. Then again, Blasted Lands looked pretty nice, so maybe she was just like up here. The place wasn't totally wrecked, you know, like how it looks now at the time. So again, maybe it's just a case of like between Warcraft 3 and WoW that some towns have changed position and all that. So maybe it's in this version, you know, there's an extra river in the Blasted Lands that leads elsewhere. You know, bit of map alteration. Maybe that's just the case. Again, maybe if I just try and think of the place as a alternate universe rather than meant to be the same universe, I might feel better about the whole thing. But, and like before anyone gets their panties in a knot, or anything else for that matter, like I said, I did like the movie. Like my only thing is like I'm obsessive about it. You know, about lore accuracy. That's all. I can just get a wee bit obsessed about it. Oi. Why can't I? Okay. Christ. I swore I could have taken that. But anyway, I just get a little obsessed with it, even though I acknowledge that, well, this isn't exactly completely faithful to the lore, like of the earlier games. So, I just still get obsessive despite that. But anyway, I'll stop ranting and raving about that, as I'm sure you're tired of... Actually, no, I didn't make my point there. As much as I complain about it, I do enjoy the movie. I've just, like I said, I was just expecting something completely faithful, and I didn't get that. I got something that was kind of faithful, pretty faithful, but not perfectly faithful. So I was just a little disappointed on that front. A little disappointed that people can't, you know, just be like, Yeah, it's a little different. It's